de Janeiro's municipal government and its municipal housing office are working to revert the disorganized and exclusionary urban growth that still persists in our city, restoring citizenship and creating new opportunities for the low-income population. The challenge is to carry out urban development with quality of life, promoting urbanization with social inclusion in practice, counting on the community's active participation in decisions that will certainly change many lives for the better. This is our strategy for promoting urban and social integration between the slums and the formal city, and for eliminating risk situations in all of Rio's slums by 2020. It's Morar Carioca, the municipal plan for the urbanization of our communities. Those who live in Rio already notice the quantity and the quality of the interventions. People who live here in Chapéu Mangueira and Babilônia are going to see reality change for the better, and very quickly. In the 1940s, a sign announced the soon-to-be-installed Mangueira Hats factory. The factory was never built, but the sign ended up lending its name to the community that began in the first decade of the 1900s and was made up of workers from the Duque de Caxias fort, almost 30% from the state of Minas Gerais, 98% Afro-descendant, according to their historians. The history of the Babilônia community began in the 19th century with the militarization of coastal observation points for the protection of the capital. Lower-ranking military personnel began building housing close to work. Then came the workers who took part in building the tunnels, Novo and Velho, and especially the houses and buildings that began to appear in Leme and Copacabana. Many believe that the wonders of the rainforest that surround such a noble area, like hanging gardens, inspired the name Babylonia. It so happens that it's nearly always hot, sometimes very hot, and over there, at the foot of the hill, there was a bar that sold a beer called Babylonia, and it was special. Either way, Chapéu Mangueira and Babilônia are emblematic areas of our city, and the city knows it. Valorizing its history as well as its vocation for popular culture and sustainable tourism, the Morar Carioca project is going to recover and urbanize, looking after the city's heritage in both communities, aiming at their integration with the formal neighborhood and acting as a facilitator for the success of all current and future initiatives. Establishing boundaries for the environmental protection area is one of the project's targets, bearing in mind that these boundaries are already considered by the community itself, who know the importance of recovering and preserving the environment for their own continuity. The project also includes major improvements to the existing road structure. A 3-meter-wide service lane will bring mobility for the residents and solve the problems of garbage collection, material transport and emergency services, for example. The service lane will allow integration with the Leme neighborhood from the Ari Barroso Hill and up to the UPP. The existing streets will be renovated and repaved, and new streets will be built. The main current leisure and socialization areas will be improved, providing more infrastructure and comfort. 132 residences and 16 business establishments will benefit from new addresses for improved safety, quality of life and working conditions. 1,000 families will benefit from 117 new residential units. To take full advantage of the plots, the architecture of the buildings follows the special topography of the area. A pedestrian path will delimit the environmental protection area. This will be one of the project's differential aspects, for it will guarantee beauty and easy access to residents, visitors and urban managers who will be able to easily monitor the preservation work of a unique world heritage. The Morar Carioca works will install an infrastructure with water and sewage networks, equipment and services. In all of the Morar Carioca works, we will take care of slope containment and necessary resettlement of families that live in areas of risk. Innovations include maintenance and conservation of day-by-day city works and the control, monitoring and planning of soil occupation and use. Housing improvements are also planned to guarantee healthy housing for residents. In addition, the interventions will also benefit the community's surroundings. Recovery and drainage works will reach Aribajoso Hill as well as Rua General Ribeiro da Costa, the main interfaces with the Leme neighborhood. Everything is always done with transparency and substantial participation by resident and community leaders in collective decisions. With resources from the Pro Moradia project in partnership with the federal government, complemented by the Rio de Janeiro municipal government, thousands of people are benefiting from the Morar Carioca project. It is inclusion through urbanization, meeting the city's real social and economic demands. Works will last 2 years, and the project will provide the basis for reproducing sustainable development solutions for all of Rio's slums. Babilônia and Chapéu Mangueira will give the city the necessary know-how for developing a green economy project, respecting the environment and seeking ecological efficiency while in synergy with the needs of the community to bring an end to poverty. Our presentation of the results achieved and our learning curve here in Babilônia and Chapéu Mangueira is scheduled to be made at the Rio +20 conference in June 2012. It's a fact that we have to change the way we carry out city planning and intervention, but it will be the shared local practices that will enable this change. One more great challenge: to design the future. In Rio de Janeiro, we will do this with the help of Babilônia and Chapéu Mangueira. The Semente project is multidisciplinary, seeking partners and partnerships that combine technological innovations and sustainable practices and improvements in living conditions and income.